Hey, it is June the 5th, Friday, the 5th day of our course teaching at the Mecklenburg County Jail. And as I do every morning, I get up really early and I start preparing the curriculum so I can help guys understand how their decisions today are going to influence what they become after they get through jail or prison. That's what part of the Prison Professors program is all about. If you want to be notified every time we create new content, just subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. What we do with this program is offer people a different mindset, a different strategy to get through jail or in prison. I know that there are a lot of channels out here that really profile or glorify the types of behavior that can lead to longer terms in prisons. Prison Professors is different in the sense that we are striving to show people how to make values-based, goal-oriented decisions, and it all starts with defining success. If a person can go into the jail system or into the prison system with the mindset of how he wants to get out, then that person can start setting these incremental goals. And that's why we spent the first 2 days of the course talking about defining success and also talking about defining the very clear, smart goals that the person is going to achieve that's going to advance them along the way. Day 3 of the program, we spoke about the importance of having the right attitude, a 100% commitment to success. Not as I define it success, not as the prison defines success, not as a family member defines success, but rather as the individual defines success. That is so crucial. And so we want people to learn how to do that so they can start sowing seeds for their better outcome, for their better life. And if you look at some of the videos here, you can see how the people are responding to this message of starting to see, maybe I can become something more than what my current environment is suggesting, or what my current what my current situation is in life. It doesn't have to be what it's going to be in the months, in the years, in the decades ahead. But in order to maintain that hope, we go on to the next vision. In order to maintain that next hope, in the next class, we teach about the importance of setting an aspiration, of being able to visualize what the person wants to become in the days, months, years, and decades ahead. Those were the lessons that I learned from masterminds that inspired me, people like starting with Socrates, and then Nelson Mandela and Viktor Frankl, and so many other people who went through struggle but came back with always with their dignity intact, ready to think about solving problems that are bigger than their own life. And to the extent that people can do that, people are able to move beyond the difficulties and the struggles. And so today, in today's action, the 5th course, we're really going to be talking, after we get through a recap, we're going to be talking about the importance of taking action. So that the action steps that we take have to relate to the values, the way that we define success, and the goals. And these action steps should relate to how we define success in every area of our life. Maybe in our family, we need to take specific action steps if we want to build better relationships with our family. Maybe if we want to build better relationships with our community, we've got to take a different set of action steps. Maybe if we want to start building our career, we've got to take different action steps. And the goals that we set should reflect our commitment to that success. And our action steps take us along those lines. So we really have to be consistent, always moving toward this direction. And so during these first 20 minutes of the course, generally what I do is offer this recap and try to make this connection between the decisions they are making with regard to what time they get up in the morning, what books they read, what they do in the day, what time they go to sleep, the people with whom they associate. All of those are action steps, and they should be consistent with the way that individual defines success. They should be consistent with the goals that the person is going to be achieving as he moves forward. They should demonstrate that this person has perseverance to get through the tough times, because it's tough to be in jail. It's tough to be in prison. What's really tough is to maintain the mental fortitude. You've got to have the strongest possible mindset. And so that's what we're striving to teach with the Prison Professors program. We're also striving to show that we're not just talking about it, you really have to do it. We're striving to show what is the outcome that follows for people that pursue this path, this deliberate path. And that's the reason that we profile so many other individuals who have gone through prison, who have gone through jail, but transitioned their life into becoming something far more successful. It doesn't happen by accident. The success follows for people who know how to set priorities and know how to execute on their goals step by step by step, understanding that the steps they're taking today are going to be different from what they take in the months, years, decades ahead. But if they think wisely, they're going to have a different outcome from what anybody else expects for somebody who's gone through the jail or prison system. And so I really have to profile people that have done it. That's one of the reasons that one of the first courses is Weldon Long, an individual who went to prison 3 times, had struggles with substance abuse, had struggles with petty crime, but he transformed his life. He took action steps, and even though he had some initial challenges after getting out of prison the 3rd time, was able to build a phenomenally successful company. And I know how inspiring that is to people in jail and prison. And I profile so many other people, some of whom have not been sentenced yet. And we get lessons from these leaders, like Dr. Shlomo Shmuel, who talks with us about the importance of having the right mindset. And when we're in a bad situation, we start thinking about what can we do, not about what's happening to us. We always have to be thinking about the journey ahead. We have to be thinking about how can we contribute. That's one of the important lessons of this program is to show people this is not my program. This is what I have learned from leaders and masterminds. And they all tell us how we have to take action along the way. If we want to become something more than what we are right now, we have to begin sowing seeds. And then we know that when we sow seeds, we have to plant fertilizer and feed those seeds. And we all know what fertilizer is. It is a lot of times livestock manure, as Jerry Lundergan wrote about inside of his book about hard work and goodwill. If we want to get through where we are today, we have got to be willing to work really hard. We have got to be willing to think about society from a bigger context than our own life and have the goodwill to sow those seeds always. And so if you have hard work and if you work hard and if you do things for the right reasons with goodwill and you're willing to grow through the tough times like being in jail or prison, you can emerge from this successfully. Doesn't matter what struggles we're facing. What does matter is that we engineer and architect a plan that will lead us to become the type of people that we want to become. And the harder we work, the better off we become. But everything begins with an idea of what it is we're striving to achieve. And to the extent that we can show and demonstrate how things start, how we execute along the way, that's when we really disrupt the mindset by building something that is bigger than us, something that can transcend our situation and help build a better world. That's what I learned from Gandhi, who inspired me while I was in prison to always want to be the change that I see in the world. And for that reason, I look to leaders who help me communicate that message. I'm so grateful to Joe Guerrero, who has told me about his pathway through prison and also about his efforts to build one of the most successful YouTube channels on the planet, the most successful show for people who've gone through prison. I'm so grateful to Vlad at Vlad TV, who built a major media company with nothing more than an idea and an execution cycle. I am so grateful to some of the many other leaders who have agreed to profile their stories on the Prison Professors program so that I can take these programs inside of the jail, inside of the prison. I'm super grateful to Imad Zavari, who is talking with me about how he went from being an immigrant from India or Asia to coming into America, putting himself through school, taking action steps that would allow him to become a successful entrepreneur, build companies that employ thousands of people, and all that happened by following the principles that I am offering from these lessons that they wrote about. These leaders wrote about these lessons, they shared their stories, and they are helping me present this message inside the people of jails and prisons across America. Super grateful to be able to do that, and I'm looking forward to presenting this message today to the men inside of jails and prisons across America.